Hello, it's Franz at Kleinshire, and it's a cold and blustery day. We had a warm Sunday, and now it looks like we're going to have some more cold weather. Which brings me to one more thing I wanted to show you that we do here on the farm in order to be sustainable. This is our wood boiler. It heats a fluid which is pumped into the house from the reaction chamber here. And that heated fluid is run right through the furnace and heats the house. You can see on the readout the water temperature, that coolant is 181 degrees right now, which is right in the range we want, between 170 and 187. And the fire is what keeps it there. When the temperature of the water heads toward 170, the boiler kicks in again and pushes the fire up, gets it going really well. That other temperature you see, 300 and some, is the temperature in the reaction chamber. So the way it works is you open it up and you can see in there that we still have a pretty nice load of wood. Smoke's coming out. The fan starts up. This wood burns here. The fan circulates the air and pushes the heat downward into the reaction chamber, which is below and which has the fluid. And we fill this with wood maybe twice a day. It's amazing how efficient it is. Honestly, I think Rosemary and I miss the wood heat right in the house, but you can't beat the convenience of this. Maybe someday we'll get a wood stove too. The problem is in here. It is February 20-something, 21st I believe, and we are encountering another cold front, and this is the extent of our wood store. And even with that efficient boiler, this isn't going to cut it. Pun, well, maybe half intended. So it's time to take out the chainsaw and cut some. All summer long, I've been following the goats as I rotate them through the pastures. And every time I put the goats in a new pasture, I cut down a few junk wood trees and trees that aren't where I want them and let the goats strip them. The goats absolutely love it. And ultimately, the wood is drying out and preparing for being cut, preferably in the fall months before the snow hits. But lo and behold, it's February, and apparently I didn't cut enough wood. So we're going to go out and see what we have in this dead wood, which is still lying about. You know, I think that some people, when they view the burning of wood, think that this is terrible for the environment. They think of the emissions coming out of a chimney and imagine, what if everybody heated with wood? What would the air quality be like? And I mean, if you just consider the emissions coming out of the chimney, that's probably actually about accurate. But the fact of the matter is that when we heat with wood here, apart from the emissions coming out of the chimney, pretty much all you have as an impact upon the environment is a little gas and oil for the chainsaw. The emissions that come out of the chimney are it. The wood comes from right here on the farm. It's a sustainable resource, one that grows back. There's no way that I could ever use all the trees that grow on this property. I'm not stripping a forest. I am creating silvopasture and improving the land. When you heat, on the other hand, with natural gas or propane, which would be our other option out here in the country, your emissions coming out of the vent are certainly less, but there are a whole lot of other emissions involved in getting that propane or natural gas to its source. You begin with fracking and all the environmental concerns surrounding that, and then you have the transportation, you have the infrastructure that's required. I strongly believe that this is, in fact, one of the most sustainable, best for the environment ways that we could go about heating our house. We inherited an absolutely beautiful farm from Rosemary's parents. But the fact of the matter is, hey Clement, the fact of the matter is that they didn't utilize all the pasture, and ultimately what was a beautiful tree line of pines, windbreak of pines, became something more akin to a forest. And part of what I'm trying to do, buddies, you're trying to get out. That is not good. See, we've really done a number on this barbed wire working with the wood here. But my idea is to leave the windbreak of pines and a few of the better oak trees, and really to cut down everything else and return this to something of a silvopasture. It's going to be a process of probably years. Yeah, I know. I'm working on it though. And the benefit, in addition to producing some really nice pasture land again, will be that in the meantime we are able to heat our house. So you stop. Maybe I need to get you out of there. So, what do you think? Do you think this is good to eat? Do you think this is good to eat? You have to give me some space, buddies. Yeah. I can't work when you guys are crowding me. This is my workspace. What are you gonna do up there? What are you gonna do up there, huh? Yeah. here I am making the woman of the house do all the hard work. You say the real unloading happened already?
Yes, the majority.
What did you buy? How'd you spend our hard-earned money?
We got rolled corn, rolled barley.
That's what
for
we
the
feed the
pigs.
pigs. Yep.
Got oats and whole peas for the goats and the rabbits. And then layer feed, organic layer feed, and then bedding, pine shavings.
Yeah, these pine shavings are really nice and absorbent for birthing. All right, I better help or I'm going to be in trouble. We also wanted to give you an update as to how the kidding season has gone. So let's go check on the babies. Hello, girls. How's everybody doing? Hey, there's Twin in the dark with two twins. Hard to see in the dark here, but we are doing really well. We have some new mothers in 3 stalls getting used to their babies. The babies who have been around longer tend to hang out and stay warm. The mothers seem to put them in corners. I think, can you see all the babies hiding under there? Yeah, hi, how are you? A pallet cave works well. Oh, look at you, Lucy, with her one baby. Brilliant black color. Good job, Mama. And then, what do we have more in this corner? Some of them are really, really friendly. Look at nibble on ears. Oh, Curry, you want to check out the camera, do you? Yeah. So they're all doing really well. We have 24 of the 26 babies out here. 2 are in the house. Hey, Lily. 2 are in the house right now. There's a mama out there, but I guess everybody else is in where it's warm. Oh, Eleanor wants to see what's up. There, Galadriel, there you are. The one remaining goat holding her babies hostage. Look how wide and uncomfortable she is. Galadriel, you have to let them out. You have to let them out at some point. I don't think she's convinced. Rosemary bought the grain and it's my job to unload it, and that's what I'm doing. I don't know how well you can see in this light, but I'm unloading bags of rolled barley and rolled corn. You know, here's a tip. On the hobby farmer sized operation, some people make the mistake of raising their pigs on grain and then they get the bill for their pig and it ends up costing them more than even organic meat would cost in the store. I actually made this mistake the first time we were doing it in North Carolina. I hadn't added it up and it was a bit shocking at the end. Now, we avoid that in a couple different ways here. We raise our piglets to a pretty decent size over the summer with a lot of spent produce and minimal grain. And my goodness, they fatten up nicely in the fall. We crush apples for cider and they take in all those apple scraps. We have a lot of black walnut trees and they will crunch there on the nuts and it gives the meat such a nice flavor. But by this point in the winter, all of that's gone, apart from some slop from the house, and we turn to grain. Now, you can buy a pre-mixed hog ration at the feed store, but it really is a lot cheaper, we found, to take some of the cheapest grains, usually corn and barley, sometimes oats, and mix them together. And we also bought the mineral that they use. And I will mix this in. I know the bigger guys are laughing at me because you can buy a mixer, but on our size it doesn't pay to. I mix that in by hand. And I'm sure the ratio isn't perfect, but the pigs do continue to get some slop from the house. They get salt and vinegar from pickles and dilly beans and stuff for some added salt and the benefits of the vinegar. So I think ultimately it comes out good in the end. They look happy, and I'll tell you what, mixing some cheap grains with mineral and then supplementing with slop is a whole lot cheaper than trying to feed them straight grain. Well, it's after 5 o'clock. It's a school day. I was teaching classes this morning. The boys were working on their homework, and this project's a little bit too big for today. So we're just gonna get all this wood stacked, and we're gonna have it right next to the splitter that you can see. We're gonna put a tarp over it, and the next couple days are gonna look nasty with snow and ice. So that tarp will help the wood stay nice and dry.